Hello everyone, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. Okay, that's better. John Marshall, the DrillMaster. I've got 3 short clips for you today. This is a high school color guard in competition inside a band room, which is interesting. Band rooms are always really high ceilings. Well, not always, but the more modern ones. Really high ceilings, which is nice, and then really big open floor, and it's nice that it's flat as well, so you can see that there are marks on the floor where there's where they actually learn drill. That's kind of cool. Alrighty, so I'm going to go in kind of a weird order. This is just the first video I have up. They're only 30 or so seconds long. Yeah, this one's 34. So let's get going. They're going to report out here, but before before I get started, what I'd like to say is the individual who sent these to me asked me to critique these 3 plus another video that he sent me. And in the conversation that we had, private message, he asked that the critiques, I could publish the other critique on Instagram, not a problem. And I asked him, after looking at these 3 videos, I said, is it possible that you would be willing to have me publish these for everybody to learn from? And he wrote back, of course, that's fine. And that shows selflessness, honestly, because some of you think that I really rip into teams, and I only rip into them if they're just blatantly screwing up without reading the manuals. This team is actually very good in many aspects. There's a couple of things that that need to change, but we'll get to that. Anyway, so let's start off. I'd like to say the timing here. You can look at the feet. The timing is just great. It really is. You can't see my cursor. There we go. All right, there we go. So timing is really good. There's a slight variation here. You can see left guard's foot is still on the marching surface. It looks like just the platform is on the marching surface, while the others are raised to some degree here. But still, the timing's not bad. Spacing, not bad at all. Guards, you have a good hold on the rifles. It looks like they're Air Force is everything is closed. You split the let me get this here. You split the butt of the rifle with the index and middle fingers, just like this. This is what the Army does. This is what the Marine Corps does. And then you see that there. That's better. Army, Marine Corps, and then Air Force and Space Force. Marine Corps, that means everybody else as well, Navy and Coast Guard. So all of the fingers closed, thumb in the curl of the index, and right guard, your elbow is out, should be up against your side, and then left guard, it looks like your hand might, probably not. Probably not. I was going to say it looks like it might be a little bit too high, but probably not. It could be just the image here. It might be. So just make sure that your forearm is horizontal. I'll put it that way. So looks like even though this is an Air Force team, they're forced to use the Army standards for competition because judges aren't trained. I'll just slide that in there. I noticed the waist levels are totally different, even though the height is of the bearers is pretty close to the same waist levels. And some of us have longer torsos, some of us have longer legs, and we can be exactly the same height, but totally different in the waist level. So the harness sockets are great for alignment, at least for level there. although both of them could be higher. Instead of riding on your crotch, they could be higher. So org bearer, and we'll get to that one in a minute. Org bearer, you could have raised that up under your, just beneath. I shouldn't say under, but beneath the belt, a little higher up there, several inches actually, and then both of you could have then had them raised. So don't necessarily want them riding at crotch level. So both flags don't have fringe. The Air Force requires all flags to have fringe. And I'm going to be coming out with an article pretty soon that explains a lot more about fringe and how all of this turmoil came about. It's very interesting. Or at least to people who don't have any other life except drill and ceremonies or flags. Thank you. It's very interesting to at least two of us in the military drill world. All right, so flags have to have yellow fringe. Have to have. It's a requirement. Now, having said that, I actually have fringe. I've got a box of fringe that I could measure out for these flags for you and send it off. You just pay shipping. That's not a big deal. It's extra fringe that I have. Let's see here. So at least the finials are the same. I appreciate that, but it's the wrong staff, wrong finial. You can't have the brown staffs. And those staffs are they're sold by flag companies all over the place as sets, and everybody thinks that just because the flag company sells them, then everything's okay, that they can use them, and you can't with color guard, with military color guards. Others, that's another story. But you have to have the light ash wood, two-part or one-piece guide-on staffs with the flat silver Army spearheads. That's it. That's the requirement. Same with the fringe on the flag. All right. Little bit of a lag there. Good. All right. So we've got present. Looks like both left hands are wrapped. That's good. Completely wrapped around. That's nice. However, right rifle guard, you're kicking the butt out too much. But also, you have a flat blade hand. Army standards require you to wrap. So, and that brings up a bit of a controversy with Air Force color guards, with being at the outside shoulder, and I can explain. You can go to my website and read about how Air Force and Space Force incorporate the Marine Corps method of all the techniques for being at the outside, or what they call the outboard shoulder. But what you should have is your fingers wrapped here. Now, nobody expects you to do this, all right, to fully grasp the small of the stock. But you're going to at least wrap some fingers, just like that, just a couple of fingers. You're not going to have that extended blade hand there. All right, so you have the extended blade hand, but fingers are wrapped over here. So, see, this is something that you should have caught before. Somebody, should have caught outside. And as you came up and halted, then look at your alignment here. Some big differences with the right rifle guard. This means your end step wasn't the same. So the end step for the halt, anyway, is the last step you take forward before you come to a full halt. That's my term for it. And I use that term because it works really well as a delineation from any other step that you take. So that last step forward needs to be exactly the same as everybody else. And for the Air Force, it's a 24-inch step. So all of you should have taken a 24-inch step and then come to a halt. And then spacing. Spacing is a little bit off now. It's a tad bit off. And then actually left guard is a little ahead. Oh, well, of course it's going to do that. Let's go back. 1, 2, 3. Really good. Really good technique there. Good timing. And even the flag, org bearer. Oh, okay, so watch what the flag is doing. So what you have is, so I'm going to call you org bearer because that's what you should be bearing. And so I also have an article on my website about why the replacement of the organizational flag with the state flag. And so it's not an authorized variation, but it's an understandable variation for two reasons. One, most JROTCs are issued one organizational flag, a JROTC organizational flag, and then that's it. Then you have to buy them after that. And flags don't last forever, especially when you've got competition teams that are going out all the time and you're practicing all the time, and it wears the flag down. So they become a highly replaced item, and that gets expensive. So and then the other reason is that you're not supposed to dip an organizational flag except for the commander of that unit, anybody ranked or positioned similar, and then higher as well. So a judge doesn't warrant the dip of the organizational flag. Now that's a bone of contention with many people, and I don't subscribe to that, because what you're doing in the competition is going through all of the techniques. You're going to report in, you're going to report out to the judge. I understand that, but you're going through these techniques because you need to go through them. Not and I get it. You're reporting to the judge. Let's say the judge is me, retired Air Force Tech Sergeant. I don't warrant the dipping of any organizational flag at all, ever. Excuse me. So I understand that, but it's the techniques that we're checking, and we're as a judge, I'm checking these techniques, and you do several things over and over and over again to see if you have consistent application of these techniques. So, okay. What you should have done, org bearer, is come straight out. Thrust that flag out. All right. You said order colors. You just should have gone with it. Now, what you did was you mumbled "as I was." That's not even a statement that is accurate as far as the military is concerned, or grammatically. There is no such thing as I was. The term is "as you were," and that puts the formation back to the previous stance, you could say, the previous position of where they were, as you were, not as I was. You have nothing to do with this as commander. It doesn't matter about you. You screwed up a command, the team should have still gone with it. You never should have said "as I was" or even "as you were." Never. Just go with it. All right, so carry colors is actually the command here. And I know it's in the sequence. I get it, but and that's a long explanation as well. But it's in there. It's in the training circular. So don't correct yourself. Don't correct yourself at all. Never say "as I was." That's for anybody. So because of that problem, then because you said "as I was" and then order arms, it got that the fluster went from your head to everybody else's, and the guards were out of time, and it just didn't work well at all. We can see bad timing here, and the staff brought back. All right, so the staff is brought back slowly. It should be brought back in one count. You can, it's either one count or as the rifles finish, then you can bring that out. But coming back was much better than bringing the flag out. So as you dip, you just kind of, you let its own momentum push it forward, and then you pushed it forward at the very end. So it needs to be consistent all the way out and consistent all the way back, and you were better coming back. So this is colors reverse. Commander, I have no idea what you're doing here. You're just standing in place and executing two facings in march, which is really, really weird, actually. So, and the team is flanking. I suggest go watch my presentation on the colors reverse. All right, so let's go back here. There we go. Let's go to this next one. I'll tell you what. Okay, that's better. Cut myself off even. All right, it loaded and everything's fine. So guards, you didn't practice enough. Not at all. All right, so you have the rifles on your belly pointing straight forward. Why? So the technique is going to be then reach up with your right hand just above your left. There we go. Place the rifle on your hip. Now, if you're going to use, this is Army technique, this is Marine Corps technique. Whatever. You can use either one. It really doesn't matter. Since you're forced to use Army technique, I would highly suggest continuing with Army technique. So then you go through, get your sling taken care of, but it's on the hip. It's off to a 45-degree angle, not out in front. All right. And that's not the technique either. You don't hold on to the rifle. You push your arm out forward and slide the sling on, come back. I'll have to do a video on that specifically. And then when you have your rifle finally at sling, the rifle should be vertical and your right forearm needs to be horizontal. Now the command is post. Not guards post. The command is post. That's it. Nothing else. Good face and march. 4 steps. About. All right. Uncased colors. That means that you're going to come down to the. You're going to go to the guide on. You're going to go to present guide on, and you're going to come, raised guide on, present guide on, and then pull that staff in so that you have both hands on so that you can undo. You never come down to order. And you also don't have the staff at waist level. You have it up under the arm. And I know there's a lot of things that really aren't completely explained. I get it. So come out simultaneously, guards. You're doing things individually and not synchronizing the movements. When you're finished, untying, then keep your hands there. You need to be looking at both sets of hands. Once you're finished, then you can even give a little thumb tap and bring your hand out and start your movement. Guards, you need to practice much, much more. All right. So let's watch the unfurling here. You'll never know when to stop because your spades aren't flat. All right, so we had a huge dip in the Texas flag. You have to have much more control over your staff. All right, it's not supposed to be at the waist or the waist level. It's supposed to be up here. This is how your hands are supposed to look. You're holding onto the staff. You have it at horizontal. You're unfurling whichever way it goes. This is fine. And as you unfurl, since you're not tall enough, then because you don't want the flag material to hit the floor, then as you unfurl it, then you're going to raise slightly, raise slightly, and then you're going to bring the staff up with that right hand, bring it up, come into the socket, and not do what the next video shows. All right, so I'll pause here and then I'll load the next video. All right, so we see that the flags have unfurled, then they're brought to order. That's not what you're supposed to do. There's a certain situation if you're indoors. The Army Training Circular explains that, but that's not the situation here, not at all. So. Come on, guard. You have to overcome that much better than you had the rifle slide off. Okay, so take care of it. It's got to be snappy. Your recovery here, that should be a part of what a judge looks at. Your recovery here is very slow. You're indecisive. You're searching for how to solve problems. That's the whole point of recovery, and it's just not working well. All right, so then we have you holding the yes, I have my trusty pink dust rag here. We have you holding the cases just like this, and you're not supposed to hold them like this. You're supposed to hold them like this. This is what I call holding like a book. You know, if you're going to class, then you're going to hold your case like that, like a book. So because this you can't do anything with grasping the sling. Over, salute, don't drop. Over, salute. So your hand is here, should be here. So you bring left hand over, salute. Order arms. Then you finish the salute by dropping all the way down, come up under, drop. And again, it's just post, not guards post. And when you're going to tuck that into the belt, it's going to look like this. I'll show you this way. It's going to look like that. Not over the belt. You're not going to drape it over like that. It's going to stick out at the top and the bottom. That's in the belt. That's what that means. All right, so that's the video. Okay, thank you so much for this team allowing me to do this. I really appreciate that. that is going to help not only you, but so many other teams out there that are searching for ways to learn more about this whole process. And it's an involved process, uncasing the colors, even going then to case the colors. Some of the color guard routines out there require neither of those. Others require uncasing the colors and then you just report out and leave, which this is. And then others still, you're going to uncase the colors, then towards the end, you're going to case the colors and then leave. So, well done, team. Yes, there are some things to catch up on, but I hope my comments are helpful. There's these little tiny intricacies of everything that we do in the military drill world that really need to be exposed so that we can understand them better. And one day I'll get to a post that takes every single position and just peels back the layers of exactly what's supposed to go on. Until then, though, we'll just have to rely on my critiques to help understand the whole process of each of those. Yeah, it's happening again. The sun is low in the sky. Alrighty. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Oh, and have a wonderful 2023.